Temat tej prelekcji brzmi, mamy go również zapisany tutaj na prezentacji. I zaczynamy.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to see the auditorium full of people. I would like to inform you that I have no sound of you. So I am so happy that I got invited, and I would like to thank Dr. Alexandra Kalata-Zawłocka for giving me the opportunity to be here with you today. And I would like to thank you all for having me here, so I will have the opportunity to present you this interesting topic that you can see the title at your screen right now. And I will explain to you what this is all about. So interpretation has both practice and research, and we are now going to see how these two are linked. My presentation is a call, a motivation for you, future interpreters, how you can link research and practice. I will explain you later a little bit more about this. You can see my presentation here, and I will give you some time to read it. Back in 20 years ago, 2015, a colleague of mine asked me if I would like to co-author an article with him. At this point, I didn't have my BA, my MA, either my PhD, I just had my BA, and I was wondering if I could contribute in a way to this article. And I asked, why should I co-author this article? Situation in Netherlands regarding interpretation had at that time faced many issues. We were TV interpreters, and we were wondering how we could have official signs for everything mentioned on TV setting. Interpreters were thinking about this and how we can find the ways to contribute to sign language interpretation on TV settings. So we had many things to think about and solve. And this is my first research that you can see here. In this paper, we talked about how to facilitate communication according to the client's wishes and find the best way to serve our deaf clients. Before I continue, I would like to explain that I will give you some examples of my experience, and I will link this experience to my research topics all these years. So, when I started this research, I saw, when we ended the article, that a big impact was made, and people were talking about this research. I was so impressed, and I was thinking, maybe I should choose another topic to research or talk about, even more inform people about what is happening in interpretation field. So this is one example of me presenting in order to inform people more about our profession. Furthermore, you may think, is research important? Should I do research? What can I contribute to my profession? when we have research, we have evidence. We have the opportunity to advance the profession. We can develop further the profession we are involved with. So we have to link practice. And, you know, sign language is not like maths. We don't have to whistle with numbers. We are people. We have to link to the people we serve, to the deaf community. And if we have more research, then we have more evidence and we have impact on practice. Looking back, we can see that sign language interpretation has not so many research. On the other hand, so we can contribute more, and even if we have self-research, we can contribute more to the field of interpretation. And this is how we can inform the training of future practitioners. Let's look briefly at the history and how research started and when. It's really interesting because we have to look at research for spoken languages and research for sign languages. Two different topics. Research for spoken languages started in 1950s, and this research is more focused into conference sign language, into conference interpreting. On the other hand, sign language interpreting is not focused on the conference setting, but for community setting. So these are two different approaches of research into linguistics. But now we are seeing more overlap and how these two fields impact one another. And we have different perspectives that have put it valuable information for both professions. Furthermore, these perspectives help us to focus more on research and have more findings and deeper knowledge regarding sign language interpretation. This is something special I would like to share. I am a practice searcher, combining practice and research. I am interpreter, but at the same time a researcher. As you can see here to my presentation, I didn't come up with this word, but is used in the research to show how practice and research is combined. So you can now understand that evidence is something really important and provides us important information about our profession. And interpreting is an applied discipline. Practice searcher first found this word in the work of Ziel, 1994, and is used till now.
So what I would like to repeat is it's important that practice and theory, research are linked, so practice informs research and research informs practice. So remember, my first article was written in 2005. This part you see here is from a chapter from my first book. again, at that time, I had my BA, but I didn't have my MA or PhD yet. As I had said, the article did have some impact, and I continued working as a practitioner and still saw the gap between research and practice, and I wanted to bridge practice and research more. So I was asked to contribute with further writing, in this case, a book. It wasn't much based on research, but rather on my experience as an interpreter. But I also did a lot of reading myself, and I was trying to link my experience to research and results that had been found and articles people had written about our field. So I do hope to ignite some motivation in you, but I would also like you to consider they are still two fields. We have the field of academia, of research, and we have the practitioner's field. And as you know, for sign language interpreters, you have your code of ethics, so you have values, ethic underneath our field. And that also is true for research. So we are between two ethical worlds, so to speak. And a constant reflection as a practitioner, but also as a researcher, is important. Because we are within two roles, therefore have two ethical value systems underlying. We need to constantly reflect our doing. In brackets, you see the name of the person, Tiselius, 2019. When she wrote that, it really helped me in my reflection, in my everyday doing research, and also contributing as a practice researcher. So it's very important to be clear about your positionality. This quote is from my PhD, which was published in 2023. And that quote sums it up what the underlying motivation really is. It is also something for you to think about in the future. As future practitioners doing research, it helps in the reflection. It makes us a better researcher, a better interpreter. It doesn't just impact each other, contribute to each other, but also it helps me reflect as a person. It helps putting out writing. It helps with others to reflect on what we're doing in what field, with what people, and all of our perspectives. Now, I do hope you consider doing research in the future too, or maybe you already do. If you don't, you might wonder how to start. What is really important in the beginning is to find a topic that really interests you, that sparks a fire within you. You might be reading certain books or articles from our field and consider the topic has not been considered in your country, or some questions are missing, or just a puzzle piece from your country is missing that could contribute to continue this research. Again, one example of my research. This one is from 2014. We had the sign language interpreting community in the Netherlands, and we were approached by the deaf community. At that time, they were not happy with the quality of the sign language interpreting service. And certain things had happened, certain situations, so we were thinking about how to solve this issue, those complaints, and we decided to do research. I didn't want to do this research by myself. At that time, I had just done my BA, and my colleague, Immer Slaus, we together had finished our BA, and we decided to do this research and compare perspectives on the topic of quality. We collected many findings, also on how to enhance the profession, how to enhance quality. And what we also realized, the deaf community doesn't really know how interpreting works, as in what is the process involved in interpreting. And interpreters at many times didn't know what the expectation of the deaf community was. So we realized a discourse between both communities was so important. We needed to work together more. And that is just one example, one of many projects I conducted in the past. If a topic comes up, if something happens, that is your call for research. To sum this up, as you see on this slide again, we need to bridge practice and research. They are linked. It's impossible to see them as separate worlds or fields. So draw from practice. If you are a practitioner of sign language interpreting, find your topics within your experience, but then collaborate. Find others to support, and also keep in mind research is dynamic. We might have findings, we might find evidence on the topic we started, but some other issues might also come up. It's important that it's evidence-based and that it serves the communities, meaning both communities, the sign language interpreting community and the deaf community. These are my 2 cents, so I do hope I inspire motivation within you. Thank you so much to the interpreters, Anja and Rosalia, who are actually my students. So I give warm greetings to all of you. Good luck for the rest of the conference, and I hope it will inspire you for your future. Thank you so much.